I'm not really sure how to start this, but my bike got stolen. I've sat at home trying to work out some sort of script to be able to go through this. I have got the bike back, but somehow it just doesn't feel very good. The bike rides fine, but the whole process, just leaves you feeling a bit there. So let me explain. I was going on a big bike ride, so I was cycling from Sydney to Melbourne, but via an inland route in the middle of summer. So it's hot, it's difficult, it's long, approximately 1,000 kilometres end to end. I think there's about 100 of ride out or drive out to around Lithgow, and then 900 going south. And I was debating getting on a train, but all of that doesn't really matter now. So I'd cycled from Lithgow to Oberon, from Oberon to Cowra, from Cowra to Young to Cootamundra to Junee, and then from Junee I went to Wagga, and I was actually making good time on that day. I'd got into town early. I've been trying to cycle very early in the morning, 6:30 in the morning through till lunchtime, because by about 2 o'clock in the afternoon it gets very, very hot. But I left my bike outside a cafe in the middle of Baylis Street in Wagga Wagga, went into the cafe, and when I came out half an hour later, it's gone. Someone has stolen it. Now we've looked at security footage and we can see that I've been targeted. A cyclist comes in, indicates to somebody else, they walk in and they walk away with my bike. I've told the police, I've made a police report, and they didn't hold out much hope for getting my bike back. As I came out of the police station, I also wrote a short post to Facebook, hoping that somebody in the area might possibly see that post and see my bike. It's fairly unusual. It's a Kona Sutra. It's got Surly Moloko handlebars and a bunch of bags on it. There aren't a lot of bikes like that around the Wagga area. I hoped that somebody might see that post. Well, by the time I got to the motel that afternoon, the post had been shared a few times, and over the next couple of days it got shared 1,000 times. There were 500 odd reactions to it. There were over 150 comments to it, and most of them were very positive and wishing me support and all of that. But eventually one of the police officers at Wagga Police saw that post and also happened to be driving around or patrolling around Wagga and saw my bike. So they apprehended the guy and got the bike back. But it's missing all of its bags and all of the content, and obviously then all the video cameras and the 8 days of content that I had shot. And it was that I guess hurts the most. Because of the reaction on Facebook, I also got contacted by the press and they helped. So the ABC and one of the newspapers wrote some articles. The ABC also did a radio presentation as well.
Michael, you've recently had a cycling experience in the Riverina that didn't turn out quite the way you'd hoped. Tell me about it.
Right. Well, I was cycling. I planned to cycle from Sydney to Melbourne. I've come down basically following the Olympic Highway, and I was in Wagga Wagga, and I stopped for lunch. And when I came out from lunch, my bike had been stolen with all of my gear on it.
And I think a lot of that helped to raise the profile, and that's why I got the bike back. And I have the bike back and I'm very happy. But I don't have my cameras, I don't have my cooking equipment, I don't have my bags, I don't have my water filters, water bottles. There is a list which I will put on the screen, hopefully somewhere here. It's just, there's hundreds of items. To be able to do these sorts of cycle rides on your own in the heat, you have to rely on your gear 100%. So this was tried and tested gear, not particularly spectacular, not particularly fancy, but stuff I knew I could rely on. I had been cycling quite often in 36 to 38 degrees, and there were a couple of days it was 46 degrees. So this is not something for the faint-hearted. This is not something you just go, oh, I'll take a water bottle with me. I have to carry 5 litres of water and then be able to refill a couple of times per day to be able to do this. So it's those sorts of things, all those little bits, my water filter, my penknife, my cooking spoon, all those things have been taken, and I've got to go and get them all again, and I've got to test them all again, and then I've got to do the bike ride again. It's immensely frustrating. The acceptance that this type of behaviour occurs is something that we've got to address. The idea that there is nothing that we can do about it, that's not correct. We need to call out bad behaviour. We need to stop people from stealing stuff, even if it's just minor things. I know I was naive by leaving the bike unattended, but that's the country I want to live in. It's the ability to be able to do that. There are many towns in Australia where I could do it. I do it all the time. I had done it in Cowra, I'd done it in Young, I'd done it in Cootamundra, I'd done it in Junee. We need to call out the bad behaviour.